You know what I wish would be given the same amount of love and admiration and optics as our external achievements get, like on LinkedIn and stuff, is our internal growth. I want a medal, a badge of achievement for my internal growth. This intangible, invisible process of me becoming a better, more authentic version of myself who has the capacity to deal with challenging situations and challenging people. The version of me who is constantly trying to come back to this heartful, open-hearted Jade. So hi, welcome. Today we're making the time and space to celebrate internal growth. I recommend you get yourself a little cup of tea. Hello friend, hello angel human, welcome back to this little safe space corner of the internet. As is becoming a theme, I was not really planning on filming. I was actually already in my leopard print pyjamas ready for bed. But you know when sometimes you just feel compelled to share a message or to reflect on something? I felt compelled. So I went, put on a nice top, put a gem in my eye, and here we are. The last time I felt compelled to film like this in my chatty little life update video, the comments section was just so warm. It held me. Like I asked you guys if you got to the end of the video to comment a gem emoji, and literally just like the whole comment section was just flooded with this lovely crystal emoji and so much love and warmth and heart and vulnerability, and I don't know, it just inspires me to show up in this space unmasked, and I'm trying to do that more and more in this era of my content. I'm trying to come back to the me who I was when I was like 16, 17, who would just turn on her little camera and speak from here. I used to speak a lot more from here in this unplanned manner, and I think as I grew up, as I went to university, as I had roommates and was forced to not perform is the wrong word, but like create layers upon myself to deal with the stress of tasks happening in life, it became difficult to always be able to film from this place of like real open-heartedness and authenticity, because filming a video was something I just needed to quickly tick off my to-do list and then I could get back to writing a 2,000 word essay a week. But yeah, in this era I have the time, I have the space, I have the desire to create from this deeper place. So hi. Okay, so yesterday I had therapy. Woo, we love therapy. And in this session, I had the realization that I have changed so much in the last year. I have grown so much, and in very intangible ways, which is why it is so easy to not honor our internal growth, because you can't see it. It's invisible, right? Like when you're growing in external ways, it's so easy to celebrate. Like, oh, you're growing because you got an A star in your last exam rather than a B. You're growing in your athletic training because you can run a 5K instead of a 2K. That's worth celebrating. But when we get into the realm of one's emotional self, of owning one's authentic voice, you know, stepping into our power, existing in the world as we actually are, like caring less about what other people think, living unapologetically, making choices that serve ourselves, recovering one's mental health, healing, like uncovering one's shadows, all of these very, very intangible things. They're so hard to see, and they're hard to like have real checkpoints within, and sometimes you just feel like you're not doing anything, you're not making any progress, you're not growing. Sometimes you're literally like, why am I even paying for therapy, right? Like I'm just coming here and I'm chatting about my life every week and it doesn't feel like I'm making any tangible change. But in this session yesterday, I realized that I have never felt more like a mature and competent adult. My capacity to have difficult conversations with people has expanded tenfold. I am naturally such an avoidant person. I struggle so much to have confrontation of any kind. Whenever I feel like there's an issue between me and someone, I'm like, I want to run. I want to never see this person again. I want to ghost. That has been my tendency in the past. And yeah, I've just really been learning to like go to people, to text the person and be like, we need to talk, to be like, can I have a moment with you to express my feelings, or to discuss this awkwardness between us, or to be honest about how I feel in this situation. Recently, I've been doing that so much more. It's like I value my own peace so much that I don't want to sit in the tension of the not knowing, where you're not really expressing your honest self, the other person isn't really expressing their honest self. You're just sitting in this like mulling around. You're like, I don't really know what's happening here. I hate the uncertainty. Previous Jade can do uncertainty. Adult Jade wants clarity. I want to know where I stand with friends. I want to know where I stand with family. I want to know where I stand with like everyone, which is also so un-British. British people are so comfortable lingering in the unknown passive aggressiveness, the like surface level conversation, brushing over any issues between us. Like, we're so happy to just let everything sit and remain unsolved. And I only realise how much I don't like this Britishness, and how this Britishness doesn't always serve me, when I was at university and I was the only British person for 4 years, and all my friends were from around the world and had such different ways of dealing with conflict, of living their life routine, of expressing their emotions. You know, you're just having people from everywhere, and I realised how indirect I am, just how scared I was of conflict. Things like, you know, with a roommate, when they're doing something that I don't like, I would rather not tell them and sit in my passive aggressive resentment for an entire semester than to sit them down and have a conversation and be like, oh, could you tidy up after yourself? Or like, oh, can we maybe use the toilet brush? And it was only through the help and training of friends from different cultures sitting me down, having these difficult conversations with me, training me into addressing things, that I started to learn how much better things are when you address them. And I want to take this into my adult life. I want to be a better communicator, and I think that I am. I really think I am. I had to have 3 of the hardest conversations I've ever had in my life last week, and this year in general. I've had so many challenging conversations with family and friends and lovers and people. Also, if you're watching this right now and you have something on your mind that you wish you could tell someone, it's like an issue in your life, maybe with the person you're in a relationship with or someone you're living with, there's just like, there is something on your mind that you are too scared to address, please let this be a moment to empower you, to have the courage to sit that person down and just voice how you feel. Let me tell you, it makes everything better. It makes that person feel better because they actually know where they stand with you. They're given the ability and choice to help make you feel more comfortable in the situation. You'll get rid of any potential misunderstandings. I dare you, have the courage. I know it's so hard, especially if you're British, especially if you hate conflict. But do it, do it, do it, do it. Voice how you feel. It can never go wrong. Quick little aside, but if you're ever trying to deal with conflict, I recommend a framework. I'll put it here. But it goes something along the lines of, I have observed X. I feel X about this. How do you feel about it? Do you also feel that? I would ideally love Y to happen. So you're not blaming the other person, you're just expressing how you feel. It's very like gentle. I've just observed this, maybe we could do this instead, and gives it the capacity to be like a two-way dialogue, a two-way conversation, rather than just you like yelling at this person for doing something wrong. That's my framework tip for the passive aggressive avoidant people. So learning to have difficult conversations and to express my real feelings is one of the ways that I have internally grown this year. Okay, wait, quick interjection. So I've been talking a lot about therapy and how much it's helped me, and this video is kindly a paid partnership with BetterHelp, which is the therapy platform that I've been using for over a year and a half now. Genuinely, my therapist has helped me through so many difficult things and is a huge part of my journey to being able to celebrate my internal growth. Therapy is so brilliant. Sometimes you don't even realise there's things that you need to talk about until you go to a session and start unpacking things, and yeah, you just realise that you needed it. So the way that BetterHelp works is you first take a little questionnaire about you and your needs, and they match you with a credentialed therapist, and then you have online sessions. So you can have video calls or you can message a therapist 24/7. And I love online therapy as a concept because you can pick the times that are flexible in your schedule. You can like have the call from the comfort of your home. I've also done in-person therapy in the past and just found it such a faff to have to like work it in my routine to like go there physically. And the beauty of BetterHelp, if you don't really get on with your therapist, it's very easy to change. If you think you might benefit from therapy, you can use my link here, betterhelp.com/unjadedjade, and you can get 10% off your first month, which is great. So you can connect with a therapist, see if it helps you. Thank you again to BetterHelp for supporting this channel and supporting my mental health. Another huge point of internal growth, which I've never talked about it online. I keep hinting at it, and like I will do an more in-depth story and everything about this. But yeah, embracing my queerness. It's been the bloody longest journey ever for me to get over internalized homophobia. I wish I could be one of those Gen Z kids who knows at like 12 that they are queer and like everyone in their life embraces it. They have all the representation they want on social media and brilliant. From like age 12, they just go through their life owning it. That was really not the case for me. It's been such a slow process. It was also really difficult coming out to family. Without getting into the whole story, so I went to an all-girls school, was basically taught for the longest time that like lesbian is like the dirtiest word ever, and that having an interest in girls was just a non-thought, was never to be an allowed thing. It was like, I don't know, going to an all-girls school, it's like when you chat to people from other schools, they joke, they're like, oh, you're all lesbians, right? And because of that, no one is. I didn't know a single queer person in my whole school growing up. So representation 0. Also at that time, I have never seen women getting married. I'd never seen 2 femme women together. I had no concept that I could like girls or that was an option for me. And I was still attracted to men, I was attracted to boys, so it's like, okay, brilliant, like it doesn't have to be a question. But thankfully the TikTok algorithm found me, little baby queer, in lockdown and basically illuminated to me that I do like girls and that my obsessions with popular girls at school were not obsessions of me wanting to be them, but were likely crushes. And yeah, I was just in denial for such a long time about that fact, and I'm not gonna get into the whole story, but basically I feel so confident in my queerness now. Like, I went to this thing called Dykes Who Hike recently, and it was just like 200 queer women hiking across the cliffs of Dover, and it was brilliant. And you know, being queer means so many things. You don't have to look a certain way, you don't have to like be butch and mask, which I'm not. I can be femme and still like femme women, and that's great. And I've just been living for all the queer women representation this year. I feel like this is the year of sapphic women. Like, Billy, come on Billy, give us some lunch, it's brilliant. Fletcher, oh my god, yes. X's and O's podcast, I'm eating it up. Like, Renee Rapp, Chapel Roan, all these absolute queer icons have just made me feel so safe and seen in my queerness, and I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful to finally be living in a world where I can witness women loving other women in a way that's cool and like not shunned, and the word lesbians being reclaimed. And it's just, oh, it's a great time to be alive, to be honest. I just love that I am owning this part of me. Oh, baby Jade would be so proud. Baby Jade deep in the closet would be so proud. Okay, this is such a life in your 20s thing, but I feel like the older I get, the more aware I am of my friends' jobs, how much my friends earn, my friends' romantic positions in life, their intentions and goals, marriage, kids, lifestyles, everything. It feels like the older you get, the more you are compared to society's ideal of where you should be at that age. And of course, progression in life is so important. I am the first to say, study hard and get a cool job and earn your money and put it in an ISA and save and invest and be smart and fall in love and have an incredible partner and build your wonderful family dynamic. I'm the first to say, do it. There's a reason why these are the trends that we follow. But I also fear that the older I get, the more that we are all taught to focus on the wrong things. We get further and further apart from each other. The more that like one friend earns money wise, and like the less that one earns, or like the more similar that certain people's jobs are and how they're ranked by society versus friends whose jobs maybe aren't ranked the same by society, the friends who are like married and have kids and the friends who don't, like everyone, there's just more differences, and those differences become starker in how you live your lives. And the older I get, the more I wish that we all focused on the internal world and the things that make us human and therefore similar. Things like love, compassion, sense of community, generosity, kindness, just all these things that like kids focus on and kids are told to focus on. All these like really lovely qualities that just like there's way less emphasis put on them as you get older. But yeah, maybe this line of thought is just a product of me living in London, a city where everyone's so consumed by their career. Maybe it's just even the area I live in, but I feel such a closed offness from people. I feel such like a lack of generosity, a lack of people willing to take time to help strangers or like offer smiles to people. It just feels like there's so many walls and it makes me sad. Okay, I've been reading a lot recently, and the book that I'm currently reading is Eat, Pray, Love. It's not exactly a secret, unknown book, is it? I've never read it. I actually didn't really know the plot, never seen the movie, but I've heard some questionable things. Like I've heard, oh, parts of it are problematic because it's like this white woman going to India and Indonesia, and like the wording of many things I've heard is just like of, you know, it's 2000s. It was a different time back then. Nowadays we're much more aware. There are many things that you should not say. But that aside, I found it so lovely. It's such a witty and beautiful book about this woman who at 31 decides that she's really unhappy in her marriage, and so she divorces him. She releases her perfect dream life in the city and she goes in search of herself, in search of something else, and she travels to Italy. She spends 4 months learning Italian for no other reason than the fact that she loves the sound of the language. She eats her weight in pasta and good Italian food every single day and just like learns to enjoy life again and like the simple pleasures of life beyond what she's been told by society to want. And then she goes on a meditation retreat, yoga retreat in an ashram in India, and then does something in Indonesia. I'm guessing love, based on the title. Haven't got to that bit yet. And I resonate a lot with the whole making choices that serve you but maybe are scary to make. Yeah, I'm just very grateful for having found this book in a random charity shop with my friend the other day and deciding to buy it for £1. I think what this book is reminding me more than anything is not that you need to dramatically change, you know, where you are or your location or to be in another culture to have the kind of spiritual awakening that she's having in the book, but more to be able to try and find the joy and the pleasure in every single day of your life. That's basically what she was doing in Italy, you know. She's like appreciating all the food that she's eating. She gives herself time and space to do nothing, and that's appreciated by the culture of Italy. But even though I work a lot in London because workaholic, I love work and signing up to more responsibilities. I am really consciously fostering my non-doing time as well. I'm remembering how much wisdom comes from non-doing. And of course, this idea of casual magic that I talk about all the time, which is really just finding the beauty in the mundane parts of your everyday life. Like, that is where true happiness comes from. It is not in grandeur. It is not in gorgeous external achievements. It really is in the worship and devotion of your everyday life. Good tea and warm beds to sleep in, and the feeling of safety and the ability to spend time with friends and have fulfilling conversations, and to have autonomy in like your moments of non-doing, to do whatever you want, to choose the little sparkle of joy, to follow that every day. I feel like this is a good place to end my rambly video. How are you feeling today? Where's your energetic state at? Are there any internal achievements that you would like to celebrate in this comment section? I would love to see them. Like anything that maybe you've noticed, even if it's just a sense of more peace. You know, the realization that you can spend time alone and be happy. The realization that you go on mini adventures with yourself more. That you have little sparks of joy and you notice them, whatever it is. Please put it down below in the comments section if you got to this point in the video. And if you got to this point, comment what emoji? I'm really feeling the purple background today, so comment me a purple heart emoji and I will do my best to reply to you and to hold your message with love and care. Thank you for being here. Keep tending to your heart and be soft with yourself in this crazy world. I am off to Germany next week for my German backpacking adventures, which is very exciting. I've been learning German for like most of this year, so it's gonna be good. Oh, and if you're interested in therapy, you can get a discount down below with BetterHelp. Bye!